English story. I had worked for nearly 5 minutes when I heard a shout, and suddenly there were people around me. Then I married my second wife, Emily. I went to live in a house in Northern California. It's a big house with a lot of land around it, just outside a small town. The next house is almost exactly the same, and that belongs to Emily's sister Millicent. Millicent and Emily's sisters were completely different looks and characters. Millicent is tall and rather than thin. She is very strong minded and likes to control everyone around her, including Emily. She was not at all pleased when I came and took Emily away from her influence. Emily is rather short and well fat. As she says, she weighs 11 or 12 kilos too much. She does not claim to be very clever and usually she does what other people want. Not always though. For 3 weeks now, Emily had been away, but Millicent had been watching me closely. She was with me now, drinking coffee in our sitting room. The telephone rang and I answered it. Yes, hello dear, this is Emily. Emily, what is your surname? Oh really dear, Emily your wife. I am sorry, you must have a wrong number. I put the telephone down. Millicent was watching me. You look as white as sheet. You seem frightened, shocked. Oh telephone, it was a wrong number. Millicent drank some coffee. Oh Albert, I thought I saw Emily in town yesterday. But that is not impossible. Of course, it is not. Emily is in San Francisco. Yes, but where in San Francisco? She did not say. She is visiting friends. Emily does not have any friends in San Francisco. I know all our friends. When will she back? She was not sure when it would be. I have heard, Albert, that your first wife died in a boating accident. She fell out of the boat and died in the water. I am afraid so. She could not swim. And you were the only witness to the accident? I believe so. No one else ever came forward. Did she leave you anybody, Albert? That's nothing to do with you, Millicent. In fact, Cindy had $50,000 of life insurance and one sailing boat. Poor Cynthia, she had taken her boat out alone that day. I had seen that accident from the boat club and rushed out in the another boat, but it was too late to save her. Millicent finished her coffee and left. When she had gone, I went for a walk through the woods behind the house. I walked to an open space between the trees, which had a little stream running through it. How peaceful it was here, quite a place to rest. I had been coming here often in the last few days. I sat down on fallen tree near the stream and thought about Emily and Millicent. Their houses and land were very similar, so you would expect them to be equally rich. But this was not the situation, as I discovered after my marriage. Emily owned her house and land around it, but she could not afford to employ people to look after them. Millicent, on the other hand, employed a lot of people in her house and even a lawyer to look after her money. She must have $1 million at least. On Tuesday afternoon, I usually go to the supermarket in town. Today in the car park, I saw a small, rather fat woman across the street walking away from me. She wore a purple dress and brown hat. It was the fourth time I had seen her in the last 10 days. I hurried across the street. She turned the corner and I started to run. When I reached the corner, she was nowhere in sight. I was standing there when a car stopped beside me. It was Millicent. What are you doing, Albert? I saw you running. I have never seen you run before. Oh, I just taking a little exercise. I was still in breathing. Odd as I walked back to the supermarket. I have been in the bedroom looking at Emily clothes. Millicent said, I did not see anything missing. Why should anything be missing? Has there been a thief in the house? Don't tell me that. Emily went off to stay with your friends San Francisco without any luggage. She had luggage, though not very much. What was she wearing when she left? I don't remember, I said. That evening, as I prepared for bed, I looked inside Emily's cupboard. What could be done with her clothes? Perhaps I should give some away. I woke up at 2 in the morning. Bright moonlight was shining on my face. I dressed and went out to the bed in the garden. I needed something for digging a hole, a shoe spade with a long handle. Put it on my shoulder and began walking towards the stream. I was nearly there when I stopped. I shook my head slowly and returned to the bus. I put the spade away and went to bed. That is not Emily writing. It's a letter from my aunt in Chicago. I did not know you had an aunt in Chicago. Don't worry, Millicent. I do have an aunt in Chicago. Dear Albert, I miss you so much. I shall return home soon. Albert, soon, Emily. It included one small blue envelope addressed to me. The writing seemed familiar. The postmark was our local town. I opened the envelope and pulled out a sheet of paper. The next morning, Millicent came to see me while I was having breakfast. She brought in the morning post which had just come. That night, I was in bed, but awake when the telephone beside my bed rang. Hello, my sweet, this is Emily. You are not Emily, you are someone else. Don't be silly, Albert. Of course, this is me, Emily. You cannot be Emily. I know where she is, and she could not telephone at this time of night. You think you know where I am. No, I am not there now. It was too uncomfortable, so I left Albert. I got out of bed and dressed. I went downstairs to the study and made myself a drink. I drank it slowly. It was nearly 1 o'clock in the morning when I went to the garden, but again I took out the spade. This time I went all the way to the space between the trees. I stopped beside the highest tree of all. I began taking big steps, counting at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4. I stopped at 60. Then I began digging. I had been digging for nearly 5 minutes when I heard a shout. And suddenly there were people around me, shining light in my face. I recognized some of the people who work for Millicent, including her lawyer. Now Millicent herself stepped forward. So you want to be sure she was really dead, Albert, and the only way to do that was to return place where you buried her. I am looking for an old Indian knives, I said. There is a belief that if you find one in the light of the moon, it will bring you good luck. Millicent took no notice of this. She pointed to some people I did not know. These are private detectives, she said. They have been watching her 24 hours a day ever since I guessed what really happened to Emily. She pointed at a small, rather fat woman. That's a Miss McMullen. She was the woman in the purple dress and she copied Emily writing and this Miss Peter. She is good at copying voice and she was the voice of Emily. You heard on the telephone. There were also 2 detectives who had brought their own spades. Now they began digging in the hole which I had started. We know you were getting worried, Albert said Millicent. You almost dug her up last night, did not you? But then you changed your mind. That was lucky because last night I did not have so many people to watch you. Tonight we were ready and waiting. The detective dug for about 15 minutes and they paused for a rest. This ground is very hot, said one. They went on digging until the hole was 2 meters deep. Nothing has been buried here, said the other. The only thing we found was an old Indian knife. I smiled at Millicent. What make you think I buried Emily? I left them and returned to the house. I had guessed from the beginning that Millicent was responsible for the false Emily that had appeared to me in different forms. It was all part of her plan. What had been her aim? Well, she believed that I had killed her sister, so she wanted to frighten me until I broke down and said, yes, I killed her. I had been playing a game too. I wanted her to think I was frightened, and of course, I wanted her to think I had buried the body in that place in the woods. Now I was in strong position. She had called me a murderer in front of all those witnesses, could take the matter of court of law and demand large sum of money from her. But she would not want to let that happen. She would not want the world to know she had been stupid. She would prefer to pay those people to keep silent. Would that be possible? Well, it would be help if I support her story and said that nothing had happened at all, and I would do that for Millicent. If she gave me some money, a large amount of money, at the end of the week, my telephone rang. This simile, I am coming home now, dear. Oh, great. Did anyone miss me? They certainly did. You have not told anyone where I have been the last 4 weeks. Have you, Albert? Especially not Millicent. I told her you were visiting friends in San Francisco. Oh dear, I don't know anybody in San Francisco. Did she believe you? I don't think so. Well, I could not tell her. I was going to health farm to lose weight. I would be ashamed and I was not sure that I would manage it. But I have, Albert. I have lost 14 kilos. My figure must be good as Cynthia now. I welted. Emily, that's a great. Why is Emily jealous of my first wife? They each have their place in my heart. Yes, but now none of clothes will fit me. I will have to get a lots of new clothes. Do you think we can afford it? Albert, we can now with some help from Millicent.